It's nearly Halloween, and after 2 weeks of travelling and a few days recovering from jet lag, it's time to talk about one of my favourite subjects, the market, i.e. the hiring market trends in the world of digital procurement and supply chain. So first of all, I'm going to talk about what the market's telling us at the moment, then I'll talk about why I think those changes are happening, and finally I'll talk about where the demand is both geographically and in terms of skill sets. So where are we in the market? Well, the market has suddenly got very, very hot. If I rewind back to April, it's one of the quietest markets I've ever known. In fact, I could have spent the entire month on the golf course. No one would have noticed. Unfortunately, the weather was terrible in Manchester at the time, but it was a very, very flat time in the world of recruitment. And then it was only in May at the World Procurement Congress that I started to see the real green shoots of what I expect to be a very, very cautious recovery. A little bit new work came in, people making more positive noise about the market, particularly consultants, which is always a useful barometer of the marketplace. But more recently at DPW in Amsterdam and SAP Spend Connect in Vegas, I've had so many positive conversations, so many organisations talking to us about what they need, their plans for the end of this year and the beginning of next. And really things have really turned around, and all of a sudden there's a great deal of demand for certain skill sets in the marketplace. What's causing that? Well, I think there are three factors in play, two that are specific to the market and one that's specific to us. So the first one, for organisations, particularly software companies that have been well run financially and prudently, they've got a strong product, good foundations, and they've been cautious in their growth plans. Now they're starting to feel a lot more optimistic because they've got a good go-to-market, they've got a good financial position, and they're starting to see much more receptive audience in their target customers. So they're feeling more bullish about what they can achieve towards the end of this year and the beginning of next. So I think the buy side, if you will, is starting to move forward, and it's starting to pick up momentum, which is very encouraging for everyone who's got a stake in this sector. The second factor is that you may have noticed we're starting to see a bit more investment coming into the sector. Again, there's been some big investments made recently at Series C and Series D. And the feeling is that the sort of finance markets are beginning to free up a little bit. And that's great news for those organisations that want that investment. So I think that's also giving some cause for optimism and creating that demand for people as people start to seek to grow their organisations. Finally, the one that's sort of unique to us is that, going back to the part of the year, a lot of companies were sort of quite constrained on budget and saw recruiters as a necessary evil at best, often really doubting the value of what a specialist recruiter can bring to their organisations. Of course, we're in a career-long battle to fight that perception. But actually, if you take DPW in Amsterdam as a particular example, I was inundated with people saying, look, we've tried it ourselves. We've not been able to find the people we want. We're much more serious about bringing people in now. We need that domain expertise that you specialise in. Can you help us? We had so many conversations like that, both myself and Simon Embury, and that was a sure sign that things are picking up. And also a validation for us of our strategy of going to those events, being the visible presence, having those conversations, getting that education to understand the market, talking to people, sharing valuable information. So that has really been a big step forward from our perspective as organisations recognise the value that we can bring. So where is the demand? Let's start geographically. Number one, America. Now, this surprised me a little bit. I thought we'd have to wait until after the American election to see some real growth in the States, but actually, this is where most of the work has been coming from for us. And that's not just on the back of me going to Spend Connect, that's actually DPW and our other activities around email marketing, social marketing, media marketing, etc. So there's a lot of demand in the States for organisations that are seeing these better market conditions that are referred to. In Europe, I would say that Germany is the hottest market at the moment. UK, France, not too far behind. Nordics as well. They're the sort of hot markets from our perspective where there's real demand for people. And what sort of skills do people want? Well, it's all around go-to-market. So I'd say the biggest area is around sales. We really need, a lot of organisations really need strong salespeople with real great sales craft, experience of selling into the procurement supply chain community. And I think that is an area that we're seeing the most demand for. Similarly, in pre-sales, again, around that go-to-market, a lot of demand for really good pre-sales people. And I'm not talking about old school thinking around demos. I'm talking about solution consulting, consultative approach to positioning and selling solutions. So there's a lot of demand in those areas, which we're seeing. And then I think one area which has surprised me a little bit is around product. There's certainly been a lot of investment in products as people respond to the demands of the market. So we've seen a number of different product roles, and I'm sure we'll see some more customer success roles coming in as well. So if you're in any of those areas and you've got that domain expertise, you're hoping to finish the year on a high note with your current organisation, but think about where does next year, or where you want to work next year in this ever-changing market, then we'd love to hear from you. Have a half-hour exploratory chat about the roles we're working on and what you want from your career next. So we'd love to hear from those people. You can get me via andrew@edburydaily.com, or of course you can get myself and Simon Edbury on LinkedIn. Thanks for watching. Hope you found it useful. Welcome your thoughts.